Hi everyone, this is Smriti. Welcome to QA automation classes. So today we are going to start a new chapter that is called as the frame handling, right? How exactly you can handle the frames, right? So what basically is a frame that and how if there are multiple frames inside a web page, how you are going to handle them, right? So that is the topic for the today's discussion, right? So what exactly is a frame? So I'll show you one example here. Okay, so let's go to that same internet.hero app. Okay, internet.hero app. Okay, so now navigate to this website, and here you can find some example with respect to the frames. So frames, okay. So now here you can see nested frames and iframes. Okay, so first we'll go and learn about the iframe, then we'll come to the nested frames. Okay, so first iframe. Okay, so now this is the page, iframe page. TinyMC isn't read only more because you have no more editor loads available for this month. Okay, fine. We are not going to do anything here. We're just going to get the content from here. Okay, that should be okay. So now if you see, this is a page. Okay, so for you it seems like a normal HTML page, right? So when you right click and say inspect, okay, we are not going, okay, inspect, let's do the inspect. Okay, so now in the inspect, if you see here, right, so div, okay, okay, text area id and iframe containing tiny. Okay, fine. So now expand this one. Okay, let's expand from here. Actually, I think this is the entire iframe. Okay, so this is the div. Okay, so this is the text area. Okay, let me put it like this. Okay, so div role, div, div, div. Okay, div, 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 div. Okay, so this is nothing but our area of interest. Okay, now you can see, right, there is a iframe id. Okay, so there is a iframe id, and after that there is something called document. Okay, let me expand this one. So there is document and there is something called html. Okay, so there is head and there is body, right? So this is nothing but your entire html. First, this is the entire page, is the html page, one html completely. Inside that we have a frame, iframe. Okay, inside that iframe again we have complete html, head, body and everything, right? So that means what, we have the two html tags here, like this part from this html, right, from this iframe that contains the html is another complete page, html page, that is embedded within the original page, right? Inside our original html page, this area is another frame that has html tags, right? It is a complete different page that is embedded within this entire page, you can say that. Okay, so now if you see iframe, so this is that iframe. Okay, so this is the iframe, this is nothing but your complete page, right? The one that is highlighted now, that completely iframe is another page embedded within the entire page of the HTML. So now in this case, how would you write your locators and all, right? You cannot directly go to this area, right? First you need to go inside and identify this frame, and then you have to go there and do your operation and then come back to the parent frame or the parent HTML, right? That's what we need to do. So how would you first understand whether there is iframe? So you can go through the like this, the look, you can try to look at the element and go through it and see the source code. If it is iframe is there, then you can understand it is a iframe. Otherwise you can do one thing, you can right click on this one, and can you see there is something called view frame source. Okay, that means this is a particular frame, reload frame, so this frame is going to get reloaded, right? So this is what we're going to do. Okay, so if you see anywhere, you have this reload frame or view frame source, that you will understand. Okay, so this is nothing but my frame. Okay, so now what we're trying to do, we'll try to navigate to this URL and we'll try to switch to that. Okay, let's see. So let me create a class. Okay, let's copy this one only. Maybe here we can take this explicit word, because there we are navigating to orange, this one. This will say frame, iFrame. Okay, iFrame demo. We're navigating to internet.hero co-op, right? So okay, so maximize. After maximizing, what we're trying to do, we have to first switch to that particular element, right? Without switching, let's try to do the operation. Let's see whether it is going to work or not. Okay, so first let me delete all those. Okay, so instead of dynamic controls, we need to go to the iFrame. Okay, so this is the URL that we need to go. Okay, so after opening this, you will maximize the page. Okay, and then let's write the XPath for this one. Inspect, try to write your XPath. Okay, so now Control F. So P body ID. Okay, so let's try with the body ID. So body. Okay, and then ID equals to whatever ID is there, we can give. What is the ID? tinymce. Okay, body ID equals to tinymce, and then inside that we have the paragraph. Okay, fine, your content goes here, is highlighted. Okay, so let's try to identify this locator and try to run this one. Okay, so let's say driver dot find element. Okay, so now by dot css selector, and this is the css selector that we have copied from there. Okay, so dot, let's say get text. Okay, so now we're trying to get the text. Let's say is okay, put that inside the SOP statement. Let's see what happens. So now we put it over here, so it should give us what? It should give us the that description, right? Your text goes here or something, is that right? So now let's try to run it and see whether it is going to work or not. Okay, so run iFrame demo. Since this object or the web element is inside another is inside a iFrame, we have to first switch to the iFrame, then only we can access this one. Okay, so let's say what the code is going to give us. Is it going to find it, or it is going to throw some error? Okay, building. Okay, okay, building completed. Okay, so now it is going to instantiate a browser driver for us. The Chrome driver will get instantiated. Navigate to URL, iFrame URL. Okay, maximize. Okay, cool. Let's see what happened here. So now if you see here, it is saying okay, this is the one. Okay, so here you can see, right? So 1 minute, find element. Okay, so it is unable to find that particular web element. Okay, so why? No such element exception, because it was unable to locate this element. Okay, so but we have seen this locator is fine, right? If you go and see, this locator is fine, it is highlighting this one, right? But why it is not able to identify? Because it is not directly available inside the compute HTML. If you see the HTML, right, so the HTML, we have a parent HTML. Okay, so our context is in the parent HTML. Okay, the entire HTML is in our context, but inside that there is a division, right? There is a division of the iframe, and inside that iframe we have the another HTML. So first we need to navigate to that iframe. Okay, after navigating to the iframe only, then only we can distinguish the or identify the element that are present inside that iframe, and then we can do some operation on that, right? So how to do that? So to switch to the iframe, so driver dot there is a method called switch, right? So yeah, driver dot switch, sorry, driver dot switch to. Okay, so there is a method called switch to. So now with this switch to, you are going to call the frame method. Okay, so driver.switch to, this switch to is nothing but it is your abstract target locator. It returns a target locator. Okay, see, public abstract target locator is the abstract class it is going to return. Okay, so driver.switch to dot. Okay, what we are going to do, we are going to target locator is our a frame, right? Or whatever the other options are there. See, window, frame, active element, default content, new window, parent frame. Okay, and these are coming from the object class. Okay, so basically if you see, we are going to use the frame. Okay, and with the frame you can use three things. Okay, so one is the string name or id. If you know the name or the id of the frame, you can use, or you can give the index 1 2 3 4 5, and if you have any web element, frame element, you can directly give. But here we are going to use, let's see what we have here. So iframe id is there, right? So id is there, but I will go with the id. Okay, so let me copy this id, copy. So now dot frame name or id, so I'll give the name or id. Okay, so inside that you pass your name or id. Okay, within the double quote pass. Okay, so this is what we are going to do. So now we switch to the frame. After switching to the frame, we are trying to go up, identify that body. Inside the body there is a paragraph, and we are trying to get the text. Okay, so now let's try to run and see whether it is working this time or not. Okay, cool. So let's see what it is giving in the output. Parsing. Okay, okay, starting the execution. Please instantiate a Chrome driver. Okay, navigate to the URL, maximize. Okay, cool. So now let's see, the execution is done. Okay, see, the execution is done. It is able to identify the content, and it is able to print that also. Your content goes here. So now if you see, we are in the navigated to the child frame. Okay, so inside this frame we are getting the web element and doing some operation. So now I have to do some operation in the main page. So if you want to do some operation on the main page, what you want to do, you want to switch back, right? So how to switch back? So you say there are two ways to switch back. Okay, so if you want to come to the default context, right, you will skip all, how many iframes are there, how many frames are there, you will skip, you will come to the original HTML content. In that case you can go with the driver.switch to the default content. Okay, so let's say driver dot again switch to dot default content. Okay, so now this statement is going to switch it into the default content. Okay, so we have seen the switch to gives you the target locator class. Okay, so default content. So now after that we can do something, right? Let's find something and print it. Okay, so okay, let's go to the application again. History. Okay, let's go here, and here let's check here. Okay, so div. Okay, so before going here, okay, so we'll try to div class is example, and there is s3. Okay, the iframe containing the tiny this one letter, so this content we can try to print here. Okay, because iframe is not yet here, iframe is below that, right? So here somewhere iframe was there, right? Here is the iframe, this is still the div, this is the parent frame, right? Inside the parent frame we can go to this one and try to do. So for this one we can try like this. So we'll say div class equals to example. Okay, so let's say div. Okay, so for class we'll use the dot, right? So dot example, then h3. Okay, fine. So now we'll as we have come to the default content, then we'll find this element and then we'll try to print the text. Okay, so now let's go to here. So now is out. Okay, so now driver dot find element by dot css. Okay, and here you give your css. Okay, and then after giving this one you can say get text, right? So now we have to do our get text dot get get text. So now let's run. So run. Still parsing, so let's see. Okay, okay, let's see. So if you don't want to switch to the default content and if you try to run, let's see if it is able to get or not. It should not, right? And there is one more option that is called as the switch to parent frame, actually, right? So the parent frame method is going to switch the context focus to the parent context, right? If the current context is the top level browsing context, then the context will remain unchanged. Okay, so let's see what is happening here. Started running. So this time we have commented out to switch to the default content. Okay, so let's see what happens. Okay, see, now it has given all those errors. Okay, it is not able to identify that particular web element, no such element exception, because we are still inside the context of the iframe. Okay, so we need to switch to the default content, or you can use driver dot switch to driver dot switch to dot parent frame. Okay, so parent frame also another way to do. So parent frame, and let me run this parent frame also. Let's see it is working or not. So parent frame, then we'll see what is the difference between these two. Okay. Now let's run and see. Let's see. Okay, navigated. Okay, fine. So let's say, see, this is also working. Okay, so what is the difference between this default content and this parent frame? Okay, so there is a difference actually. Okay, so difference is like if you go to the default content, right? So the default content, it will switch the control to the main web page, right, regardless of the number of the frames within the web page. Okay, whatever web page you are in or whatever frames are there in the web page, regardless of that, your default content will take the control back to the driver control, back to the main web page. Okay, but in case of the parent frame, driver dot switch to dot parent frame you are saying, so in this case the control will be switched to the parent frame of the current frame, right? Let's say there are multiple frames are there, so here inside this there is another iframe, so you are there, right? From there if you say parent frame, it will go to this frame, right? So that is the difference between the default content and the parent frame. Okay, so we'll see the multiple frames in the next session. Okay, so that's all to this session, guys. If you guys are really enjoying this session, I'll request you to subscribe to my channel Q Automation Classes, and if you have any doubts, just put them in the comment section. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Okay, so yeah, thank you everyone, have a good day. Bye.